to Bonehead Guitars. Let's go build some junk. Good morning, sports fans. It's Batman here with Bonehead Guitars. This is probably like, I don't know, third time ever I've tried to do any kind of inlay at all. I took a little piece of maple and I drew me out a little bone about the size I thought would be good. Cut it out. I don't have a jeweler saw. I used my little bandsaw and a coping saw and cut my little bone out. And yeah, so I finally decided, screw it, I'll just try it, see what the hell happens with my one and only piece of Wingay head plate. Used little router base for my Dremel to try to work that out, and of course I made the hole a little bigger than it really needed to be, and I'm thinking in the end it'll probably work out alright. So I got my bone in there. It needs to get planed down, and I have a little sliver of mahogany that I'm going to replace the bottom part of that bone with for shading. Let's see how that looks. Hoping for the best, because it's going to be the way it's going to be. Alright, this is definitely a Bonehead. The fretboard we spent all that time putting together. I should have shortened the butt a little bit because when the butt is flush with the neck blanks spot, there is not a whole lot of a shelf for a nut. I really needed just maybe maybe an eighth of an inch to get me a quarter for that to lay on. So I'm thinking, I'd originally thought about what do they call that? When your head plate actually doesn't get planed down to neck blank height, it's just wedged a little so that your nut just slips right in there, so you have a slot for the nut. At least I was thinking about doing that, but now I think if we put that head plate on, plane it down to height, and it should give me just enough length to have a credible nut shelf. Yeah, can't talk this morning. I haven't had coffee yet. Batman coffee. Ooh. So that's the plan. I'm going to plane this down, maybe cut it down a little bit. After the 1.0 build, we know we want to drill the tuner holes as soon as humanly possible before the head gets completely brought down to width and all that jazz. So, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that with the head plate, though. I'll be thinking about that. Meanwhile, let's work on my bone. Yeah. Scoff if you wish. Pretty bone I have. Do you like my bone? many people can say they have a flame maple bone? We got a bone. Now, I'm scared to do the rest of it. Alright, now this was the plan. Take this little sliver and replace the bottom of the bone with it. I'm not sure that would actually fit right. It was a pain in the ass making that little mahogany sliver. I don't want to do it again. Not today, anyway. Maybe. If I clean it up a little bit. Well, hell. One end fits or the other does. Arg. Not exactly sure how to proceed. Maybe I'll just leave it like that until I can get some practice in inlay. I think right now I'll leave it like that. Now, I did have some gaps because I sucked, so I'm gonna find me some Wenge dust and a little wood glue and make me a paste and fill in, especially like the crease in the ends and stuff like that. That's the plan. I always thought I was insane saving all my shavings and sawdust and junk. Haha. Shit comes in handy sometimes. Well, I'm thinking that ought to be enough. Somewhere out here I've got a toothpick. Well, it's definitely going to fill in. I think once we sand it down it's going to look okay. Not that my bone looked all that great to start with, but it's going to be shiny. Next steps, we're going to cut this out large and rough so we can get started in getting it in place. That's more like a 1/4 inch. Nice and safe. Alright, something I thought about initially, putting a Wenge faceplate on a head that is largely Wenge, at least, you know, through most of the visible spots from the side. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking that might look a little goofy. So I was thinking about putting a very thin plate of Paduke between, so there's a line either that or binding it in Paduke. And that doesn't sound like fun to me. I've done wood binding on a headstock before, and it was a pain in the ass. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about putting that Paduke plate down, sanding it down nice and thin, and then putting this on top, so it'll be a nice, pretty little Paduke line through the middle, between them.